Oh yeah! 5 o'clock on the dot. Right on time, every time, with a rhyme, and that ain't no crime. Hey Burns, how's it going, man? Yeah, come on in the house, everybody. Come on in the house. Sit and talk to me for a little bit. I was sitting here waiting. I already downed 2 glasses of hibiscus tea. Chris Wilson, how's it going, man? There's Marvin. Come on, y'all, ID yourselves. Yeah, I know. BA, how's it going, man? Boy, it was hot today. There's Leisure. Trusty Nathan Trusty. And there's old Derek Giles, the Dean of Size. Boy, everybody's here. Stephen Smith's here. All the boys are here. They said it was 95 with a heat index of 105. I believe it. Good gosh, I didn't even wash up to get to do some break on through today. But I, the unimpeachable president for life, have some great conversation with you guys today. There's Brad. All right. What's up, Brad? Jeff Williams live. Oh, what's going on, man? Benoit from Canada. Man, that's all right. Well, you know, I realized something today while I was out walking Cactus Jack, taking him on his afternoon walk. I was like, all right, let me review what I'm going to talk about in the band history. Hey, Robert, my man. You know, because I didn't sit and tell you about every single show we played and every tour we did, and you know, I tried to talk about the big milestones like the records and the lineup changes and stuff. I realized that things sped up pretty quick because what I'm going to tell you about today is when we probably had the most changes to quickly happen, like at one time in ANTiSEEN history. But I'm going to talk about some other stuff first. You guys got a hold of these yet? Man, these are flying. I'm looking at the stack I got over there, man. It's not many. I would say I got about 7 left. And after they're gone, you can't get them from me no more. You may be able to get them directly from TKO. But they're only 66 pressed. I got a few more of the brown ones. And, man, about 6 left of the ANTiSEEN Dying Breed Silver Edition with the screen print cover. So get on it. Get on it tonight. Do not wait. Dial that number. Get it together. A lot of you, when you order stuff from me, sometimes you ask me to like you asked me to sign them and stuff, and I would say 80% of the time I remember and do it. But there's a percentage of the time where you ask me and I completely forget. Because, man, I never assume that, you know, you want me scribbling all over a record you just bought. But if you want me to sign them, I do. And I try to get everybody. So when some slip through, I apologize in advance. Just got to order something else and ask me to sign it again. Did I tell y'all it was fucking hot here today? God damn! Oh, I got some news. You know, in March 2020, practically the entire country was shut down. Do you know what shut down means? That means you can't do anything. And one of the things you can't do is you can't go to a bar and see bands play. All because of fear of something called COVID-19. Or as I like to call it, Chinese flu. Something no more dangerous than the swine flu, which we completely ignored. The bird flu. Dragon-style kung flu. I mean, you know. But some bands tried to make you, to do something for you here online to make you feel like, you know the tagline for all this, we're all in this together. Yeah, you nowhere with me in together. But some bands tried to do some stuff here on Facebook, you know, to make us all seem like, oh, we're still that music community. Usually it was a screen split up in 4, 5, 6 things. Yeah, SARS, don't forget SARS. You know, with everyone looking forlorn and sad. Or it was bands in their practice places, you know, and they get halfway through the song and fuck up and oh, well, you know, we're just practicing, you know, well, we're just goofing around. Not us! You know why? Because we are a rock and roll machine! We got together on June 13th. At the height of Chinese flu hysteria. No masks worn. Paying no attention to social distancing. We came for one thing and one thing only, and that was to rock and roll the way ANTiSEEN does it. And we did it right here for you live. And it was fun. Everybody had a good time. People contributed to help us pay for the people that were working so hard to make it look as good as it did. I mean, when you're filming me, it's going to look good to a certain extent, but you can always make the quality a little better. But the sound, you could have put that out as a record. Well, guess what? This fall, from TKO Records and your old pals in ANTiSEEN. ANTiSEEN live from quarantine. LP CD. Oh yeah. Not CD. Fuck CD. DVD. Do you hear me? DVD. Huh? Play the record and listen to that wonderful show. All mistakes left in. Man, we didn't even stop long enough for there to be cues, man. It was just like bam, 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 bam. You saw it. You heard it. Mistakes at all. Steamroller. Panzer tank. And if you're upset because we took it off of Facebook, you can pop in that DVD. Watch the entire thing. Nothing's been done to it, except I think we put the song titles up like they come up. Boing. Oh yeah, you ain't gonna be able to beat it. Now, how's that for good news? Beautiful photos all over the cover by my main Chris Cook. It's going to be a great thing. And in the process, we're starting to work on new material. And at the same time, we are preparing for the reissue of Here to Ruin Your Groove. Shut down meant nothing to us. Shut down to us meant keep on keeping on. Fuck the shutdown. I saw a question pop up. And this fella has asked this question 3 shows in a row, and this being number 3. How did I meet Tom O'Keefe? I had a childhood friend named Patrick Smith. We grew up together in New London, North Carolina. Now, in the early 80s, Patrick kept going to arena shows. See, I wasn't about that because in '81 I saw Black Flag. That was a done deal for me, son. I don't care how many lights you had or what kind of gigantic creature came up at the end. Now, don't get me wrong, I like a gigantic creature coming up at the end. But man, I saw Black Flag in their absolute prime. Touring right before Damage came out. Or right after. Shortly after. 5-piece, Dez on guitar, Henry on vocals. And there's Miss Clayton. Hey, baby. You caught me in a particularly wound up break on through today. But I saw Black Flag. 5-piece. It was like a bomb was going off for like 45 minutes. Now, Lee, you asked why they played the small room. Now, see, when I saw them with Henry in 81, they did not play the small room. Some people insist that they played there before with Dez as the singer. Now, I have no proof of that. I thought when I saw them, it was the first time they'd ever been there. And they played the big room, or the main room where we saw the Dead Boys, you know. And they came a year later. And I thought that was the only 2 times they had played. I've only heard one person say that they played the small room besides you just now. But anyway, my friend Pat was still going. Let me see that pic, Lee. I bet I can prove that it's not in the small room. Send it to me. Send it to me, private message. So Pat was still going to arena shows, you know, and he met these dudes from Mooresville. One of them happened to be Tom. And so they would go, to the, hold on a second, I was like, man, I took all those pictures. That was all the main room. It was just carpeted different. But, they would go to the arena shows, and then, you know, instead of driving home, they want to go and come crash at my place that I had in Charlotte. I just moved to Charlotte and was going to Central Piedmont Community College, where I was being trained to be a community organizer. That didn't take. But, I started getting along with Tom really good, you know. And it got to where they were saying, look, man, you got to come with us to see Judas Priest, you know. And I'm just like, no, I don't care nothing about seeing Judas Priest. They had just done Screaming for Vengeance, which would have been the time to see them. But they came back for Defenders of the Faith. And it was just like, man, and it's like, man, we'll pay your way. Just come, man, and you're going to have a good time. But they were right. I had a great time. I knew all these bands. I mean, you know, I'd listened to them a long time ago. But, man, I was one of them guys that once I got into punk, man, it was like, hey, man, I'm punk. Man, I'm punk. Do you hear me? Punk. But I still listen to Alice Cooper, Grand Funk, Black Oak, and Kiss. But, yeah, that's how I met Tom, you know, and we found out we liked a lot of the same stuff. You know, those guys took me to see Iron Maiden on Peace of Mind, Dio on the Sacred Heart. That's where the thing about the giant creature comes up. You know, and then we just started going to shows together. You know, we went and saw AC/DC just about every time they came through. There's only a few times that I didn't see them. Only a few times. So that's how I met Tom O'Keefe. Now, yeah, I answered your question. So, what was my favorite punk bands? Oh, Black Flag. Man, and man, I never jumped the boat on the Pistols and the Ramones and the Clash. That was what got me into that. I always put those three at the top. That's the big three for me. Ramones, Sex Pistols, Clash. And you know, I can listen to the Clash's commie stuff and it don't affect me. Man, it's just back then when they played with so much urgency. You know what I mean? Like Black Flag played with urgency. You know a guy that saw Bon Scott? Yeah, I do too. Me! Highway to Hell tour. Yeah, and I like the Dead Boys. And man, you know, that's when everyone started discovering all the stuff from DC, and then all the things all over the country. You know, like DC, Florida, Texas. And man, there were groups I liked, you know, from all that stuff, but it wasn't, man, I never cared much about the DC stuff. I know that sounds, some of you might go, oh man, that is so. Loved Iron Cross. Loved them. Still love them. Circle Jerks, yes. Saw the Circle Jerks. I traveled, not with them, but followed them. They had a roadie named Dream. And, you know, he always let me and my friends in, you know, and we'd help them carry the shit to the van and stuff. Man, it was cool. It was a really good learning experience. And Greg Heston was always impressed with my jacket because I had a Rose Tattoo painting of the Rose Tattoo logo. Yeah, I always loved Iggy Pop. But man, you know, when that thing of hardcore, we're just talking about DC, man, I loved Negative Approach. I loved Fear. The Germs. And other than the Circle Jerks, I didn't like a lot of that whiny stuff, man. You know? Yeah, I just saw something about the church. Let's see. I remember you booked SNFU. Yes, the singer of SNFU, Shy Pig, he just passed away. So, rest in peace, Mr. Pig. Yeah, they put on a hell of a show there too, didn't they? Detroit stuff. Yes, I liked Necros. I don't remember too much about the Fix. Love the Meat Men. Love those Meat Men. And the Texas stuff, man, I love that band, The Hates. The Hates. Matter of fact, oh yeah, I'm too busy talking about live and quarantine. Ruin Your Groove, the new stuff. I forgot to tell y'all that, man, things are really coming together with our split with Before I Hang. And it looks like it's going to be a 10-inch. Can you dig it? 10. And on that, we do a rock opera. Oh, yeah. Rock opera. A little over 5 minutes long. But in the middle of our opus, we do a song covering the Hates from Houston, Texas. We do a song called Last Hymn. Oh yeah. New York, the Stimulators. See, I never cared too much for the New York hardcore. But I like that New York punk stuff a lot. Man, there used to be a... God damn. Remember that group, The Raped? Boy, they were good. I don't remember where they were from, though. Yeah, I still like a lot of that stuff, man. But anyway, what was I talking about? Somebody asked me a question and threw me way off of my intended break on through. Oh well, I'll just jump into a little bit of history. Because, you know, we were in the part of kind of that blended thing, the whole Barry, Doug, me and Joe line up. And you know, in the history of this band, in the history of this band, I've been throwing a couple curveballs, stuff that even I, the unimpeachable president, did not foresee. And I got one. We're going to do a show in Hickory at Rumors. Nothing special. It wasn't a barbed wire show. It wasn't no special event. Just one of those weekend shows we did, you know, to maintain stamina, sell some merchandise. Barry tells me it's his last show. I didn't see it coming. So, you know, of course, I want to do a big to-do about, you know, Barry leaving. Because Barry was a very important member from the time he joined. Accomplished a lot in that bit of time. And he didn't want a big deal made of it. That's just the kind of guy he is. He didn't want no big farewell to do. So we played Hickory, and that was it for Barry. I think I was still in my drinking phase then. I think I got pretty goddamn drunk that night. I was not happy. I wasn't mad at Barry. I mean, when people gotta go, they gotta go. You know, it's understandable. Somebody give me something. Let me know you're still out there. I want to know if this thing is froze up or something. Because I'm stuck on Art Ettinger saying the Meat Man, and I don't know how long it's been froze. All right, there was a heart. All right, good. So, it was me, Joe, and Doug. Though we weren't quite sure what we were going to do. We didn't even have no real big plans at that point. So it was as good a time as any, I guess. But, I don't know. Things were going to be different. And they were. They were. At this point, we were still kind of keeping it in the circle. So, what's the natural thing that you do? You call Greg Clayton back. And man, I was happy. Really happy to be playing with Greg. But you know that lineup of Knipe, Clayton, and Young, because we were so spread out now you got Greg and Raleigh, you got Joe and Lenore, you got me and Rock Hill, and Doug, I think, at this point was in was in Gastonia. So we're all over the place. But Jeff and Joe had opened, it wasn't the very first version of their version of Repo Depot, but it was the second one. And that's where, man, I think the only thing this lineup of the band recorded was a split single that we did with Brody's Militia, where we did a cover of Fix Me by Black Flag. I wasn't very happy with that record. I didn't like the mix on it at all. No slight on John Bowman at all, but that was the first thing he ever did with us. And some things don't work good for ANTiSEEN, and that's loud kick drum and stuff. And actually, I mean, like I said, no slight on John. John don't like it either. And he says one day he hopes, you know, like if we put it out on something else, we'll fix it. We'll do that. It's pretty good version, I thought. We went over real good live, you know, playing it live. But you know, you know how you can tell when the fire has gone out in somebody? Not necessarily something they plan, not necessarily something that they, you know, they're not being sneaky. It just happens. And that could be in a band, a job, or a relationship. I'm sure we've all seen that. But Doug was losing the fire. And oh hell, y'all got a lot of stuff you wrote here, and I didn't even see any of it. Oh hell. So now let me get at the bottom of this. God damn. This thing ain't been moving. Oh yeah, we did the blowfly split. Thanks, John. Yeah, we did Destructo Cock. But the fire was going out for Doug, and see, he had I don't know where this fell in timeline, but you know, he had him and Barry and a few other guys have started doing Clown, the Kiss tribute band where they dress up like clowns. And that's kind of where his heart was, because that was his thing. And man, look, they were incredible. One of the best Kiss tribute bands you ever see. But they don't do me no good when I'm trying to keep my thing going. And my brother, this is when he was in excruciating pain. And he got surgery on his neck and had to have, you know, some bolts. But, I mean, man, I saw my brother one Thanksgiving at my mom's house, and he looked like a, he was so frail and just in agony. He looked 20 years older than me. So I was worried about him. Don't get me wrong. We had some fun in this band. Matter of fact, I see you talking about Blowfly. Matter of fact, next week, I'm going to talk about the blowfly tour. Oh, yeah, blowfly. ANTiSEEN and blowfly. But we did the blowfly tour. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for everybody except for me because I was deathly ill. But, yeah, I'm going to talk to you about the blowfly union of ANTiSEEN and blowfly. And then you know what is going to happen? Then it's going to be time that we move into that area with the history of the band known as the New Blood. Now, somewhere in there, I'm going to have come and do the show with John. Will you come do the show with me? I mean, are you gonna have to sit 6 feet away from me, or anything like that? Because I'm tell you what, I'm still. I have nothing. Brandon, what was going on with the COS during that time? The COS fell apart. I'm going to have to do an entire show on the COS. And that's going to bring up some, I don't know if painful is the right word, but it'll bring up some, it's going to bring up some things I wish were handled different. And man, I ain't putting nothing on nobody. I'm talking about your old pal JC right here. Don't forget, dude, if you want it, you got to get it. You got to do it tonight. Honey, I was tapping on something. I was tapping with this damn pen. Was it making too much noise? I guess I should stop, huh? Man, y'all got to tell me. Tell me, hey, stop doing whatever the fuck you're doing and making that tapping or that wiggling or whatever noise. All right, let me see what John says to me right here. Y'all can see too. I've been the most quarantined man in America. You ain't gonna worry about me, but I don't know if I'm gonna be as entertaining as you. Of course you're not gonna be as entertaining as me. God damn, that's my job. I entertain. You just tell facts and tell stories from your point of view. And then I'll tell them from the correct point of view. But I'm gonna tell about the Blowfly tour next week, and after that, I will tell about the beginning of New Blood because it took some doing. You'll get to hear all about it. You'll get to hear the whole story. What's up with the Mongrels? Well, let's see. We have not played in over 10 years. All right, give me some questions before I get on up out of here. Show in San Francisco. Mark, did you see us in San Francisco? Got any question there, horses? Gray Trash in San Francisco. Oh, okay. Adina Assad says he's coming. Oh, yeah. Don't worry. There's going to be a Judas Bullethead show. I'm going to see if I can get Tom here to talk with me about Judas Bullethead. Yeah, I'm quite surprised to hear about it now. You being in San Francisco. Where do we play with Blowfly in San Francisco? God damn, I may have to do some reviewing on this my damn self. You like a hat? I know where you can get one. Do I think the drag queens would get together for a show? No. Wednesday's too busy with his own thing, man. He ain't busy. He ain't worried. Bottom of the hill. Now I remember. Yep. We played with Hammerlock too, correct? But yeah, I think Wednesday did something where he played the Frankenstein Drag Queen's music on tour, but nah, I ain't gonna get back together with him. All right, give me some questions. You got a few seconds, and then I'm taking on here. Is there any outlet? Is there any outlet out there with your drawing and artwork? I'd like to see more. Well, thanks, Chris. Man, I am the official artist for Repo Record. I do stuff for them all the time. I've not done a bunch of artwork as of late. I'm supposed to be doing something for Queen City Rejects, and the Fill-Ins are doing a split single, and I'll be doing a cover for them if they haven't found somebody yet. I've been dragging my fucking feet, but that's my next art project. Any news on Muddy Roots? Muddy Roots postponed to 2021. Tell us something about Zeke. Man, we had a great time. And you know what? We had great tours with Zeke. I think it's a good combination, ANTiSEEN and Zeke. Don't y'all? Man, they're great guys. I mean, this was, you know, when it was still Mark and Donnie, and then we toured with them again when it was, you know, when it was Mark's version of Zeke, and both of them were fantastic. All great guys. The thing we liked about the lineup with Donnie and Mark is like they had kind of the same kind of dynamic that Joe and I had. The older guys in the band, you know, getting all the new guys together and all this stuff, you know. Burns, Rent Rop. Is that a re-release? Oh, yes, re-release. This is called an overrun of vinyl. And it has a silk screen cover. And this was the overrun of vinyl that was left when they did the Merle Allen Bloodline. So this is the rare red vinyl. GG and ANTiSEEN. Now I ain't gonna do business with you here. You go on my page, you'll see it. It'll tell you how to buy. But I'm telling you, do it fast, son. Take Hembry out with you. Take Hembry? We don't know what touring holds for us, but man, yeah, that would be a good. That would be a good pair. We played with Hembry. I played with Zach's other band, Music Hates You. I played with the band he had, Toro, and I'm thinking there's one more in there somewhere that I played with, Stone Mountain Freeway. I liked Zach Hembray from the first time I met him. Tell Alan Wrench Tales. Don't have any. Never met him. Never played with him. How many repo ads have I done in 30 years? I don't know. Hundreds. Hundreds. Seems like I had something else to tell y'all. What's the most harebrained idea Doug Knipe ever tried to land? Man, I had to think about that a little bit. I'm sure there were some. Doug was an idea man. I like that. Doug don't talk to us much anymore. He's too busy. He's too busy yelling at people about masks and stuff on Facebook. But still love Doug Knipe. Man, we ain't doing corn tonight, son. Steak and scallops tonight. Cook all that on the grill. Let the power go out. Oh, fuck, I hope the power don't go out. Turn when it feels right. The Rocky story. Did I ever tell the story about us meeting Rocky Erickson? I'll tell you, other than just doing history of the band, like chronological, I'll also be talking about, like I told you, some of the people that that were in our orbit, and they let us be in theirs. That's stuff we need to talk about. I'm also going to talk about some of the bands that became linked up with it. I'm not going to talk about every single band we've done a show with, okay? I can't. But there were bands that we had a more than casual affiliation with. That their name and ours almost were, what's the word I'm looking for? Synonymous? I'll talk about them. I'll give you some examples. Hellstomper. Cocknoose. Rancid Vat. Well, y'all, I'm going to get on down the road. Again, thanks for spending this time with me. I hope you found it informative. Hey, Dave. Orange Beanie. Hope you found it informative. Hope you still having a good time doing it. I look forward to it every Tuesday. But thanks for still checking in. I appreciate it. And remember, you can run. You can try to hide. But there's nowhere you can go when it's time to break on through.
to the other side.